Good morning, people. I almost didn't make it, but I'm here. Today, Tuesday, Mars Day, we have Mercury square Moon, and Moon will eventually go into square with Mars. What does this mean to us? This basically means that today is not a really good day to do any expressing of yourself. Why do I say that? Mercury is currently in retrograde. It's moonwalking on everybody's thoughts, the way they express themselves. Miscommunication is high, you name it. Now is not a time to be making concrete decisions, let alone later in the day, Moon will be squaring Mars, our battery pack that gets us up in the morning, our ambition, our drive, the direction that we're going in life. Moon making contact with both of these planets is how we feel on the inside, our emotional state. And if they're going to be, if there's going to be some extra strife there, then your best bet is just to be quiet. But that's not how the world works. More times than not, you're going to hear somebody say something to you that you misunderstand, or you're going to say something to somebody else that they misunderstand, and soon after, based off of what you've said to them or what they've said to you, some action will be made because you're going to be triggered to some degree. Why do these things happen? Sometimes you just need whatever situation to go down with that one last piece of hay on the camel's back. On the camel's back. The last piece of hay, right? Sometimes you need to see things as clearly as ever. And it's tricky. Mercury is tricky. The true essence of Mercury is alchemy. It's a neutral sign. It's not bad and it's not good. Doesn't mean that it doesn't play on both sides when it comes to expressing yourself, communication, thinking, and dealing with other people. Sometimes that needs to come to light for you to have that aha moment or that breaking moment. If you're smart, I will say, just pay attention today. Just pay attention today. And for those who can't just take an observative view of the events that go on today, be careful what you say. That's what I say. If you're not dealing with anybody and everything happens to go pretty smooth today, pay attention to your own thoughts. What are they saying today? What is it that's going to come up to the surface to make you pay attention a little bit more on the way that you're thinking? You know? I'm going to be pulling 6 cards. And the 6 cards is going to be 2 different tarot decks because I want to clarify. What is our message going to be today? I would also like to overemphasize that, yes, these are the days that these planetary aspects is going down. But time is not linear. You can literally, you personally could have ran into an issue like this yesterday. You're just getting more clarity today. Or you can be going through this very same scenario tomorrow. Astrology is just a guide. It's just a guide. And if all else fails, let it be food for thought for you. To take into consideration later. Because this word just might be beneficial to you next week. Who knows? All right. Top of the deck, we got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Well, Knight of Pentacles is in reverse for me personally. He's the slowest knight of the deck. Yes, he takes his sweet, precious time to get from point A to point B, but he is very diligent in what he does. He's mindful about every action and every thought and every step of the way. Slow as hell, but he's the most dependable knight of the deck. In reverse, that's a dead stop. He's not moving anywhere. He's not moving. He's not taking any action. Our next card, the Universe. This is a major cycle. I like that it came out in the upright. It feels like this this Knight of Pentacles is diligently looking at this cycle. He can substitute Pentacle for us. We're approaching, or we're at the cusp of a cycle that we're trying to complete. Not just any cycle. This is not the Ten of Swords. This is not the Ten of Wands. This is not day-to-day, regular, smegular stuff. This is Saturn. This card is 20 years for me. That's a long-ass cycle to have to complete. We are upgrading. I said this, did I say last week or yesterday? We are upgrading the caliber of people that we are putting in our circles. We are upgrading how we deal with each other. My service keeps saying that is disconnecting for poor service. I'm sorry, y'all. Mercury retrograde. Nevertheless, we are upgrading how we deal with ourselves at an individual level. We are reevaluating our careers, our legacy. And we can't do what we did in the past and expect that this cycle to be over. It doesn't work that way. If you deem yourself not ready to finish this cycle, Spirit is going to push you in a myriad of ways in order to realize that, hey, wake the fuck up. Even if you don't feel like doing this, this is a part of your destiny, regardless of how hard it might be for you right now. You're going to thank Spirit later. Even if you don't understand the level of detail or all the how everything comes together. Spirit knows what's best for you, and we have to trust that. Third card, Six of Swords in reverse. This is Mercury in Aquarius. Mercury in Aquarius. Mercury in Aquarius knows how to deal with social construct, how to deal with the collective, how to tap into the unconscious mind of the collective. Mercury is exalted, for me anyway, in Aquarius. People that have Mercury in Aquarius natally, they are typically really smart people. But to see this Six of Swords in reverse lets me know that we're not mentally moving forward from where we are to where we need to be. There's a block, right? Bottom of the deck. King of Wands in reverse. Not being assertive, not taking the action that we need to. This king in particular, he is confident. This is Leo. He has strength within himself. He is in tune with his heart. He knows how to speak to the right people. He knows how to network. He gets shit done. But for whatever reason, It feels like somebody poured water on his fire. Everything is not peaches and cream for everyone. I think this is literally telling us that we know what the cycle is that we're trying to break. Or subconsciously, you know that, hey, you're coming up against a wall, a barrier that is preventing you from crossing that threshold. We can't move forward if we're not mentally moving forward. Typically, the way life goes, we co-sign a thought and we move after. I want to clarify these cards. What more information do you have for us, Spirit? If we surround ourselves with where we're at and don't think beyond that, or try to push ourselves beyond that, regardless if we don't know what the other side has to bring once we pass that threshold, then we'll always be stuck where we are if we don't try. Right? Sometimes we don't have a choice. We got to make the best of what we got. But to say that there is not an option is a lie. It also reminds me of, somebody doing the same thing and not getting the results that they're looking for and eventually quits. How about readjusting how you're going at a particular person, place, thing? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again, expecting different results, right? This is where we're at. But stopping and thinking that you're just going to quit is going to make this cycle go away? No. No. All right. Clarifying the Knight of Pentacles. We got the King of Swords in reverse. King of Swords in reverse. Like I said, this ties into the Six of Swords. We're not mentally clear. We're not mentally we are not mentally moving forward. There's a block, right? And because we're not clear when it comes to what our intuition is telling us, we're not being clear about looking at our surroundings and putting pieces together. It's all jumbled up. Of course you will come to a stop. You haven't taken the time to think. You haven't taken that time to get quiet. You haven't taken that time to pray. You didn't take that time to meditate. You didn't take that time to talk to the right people. You just stopped. You're going to get nowhere if you choose inaction, even if that's mental. The universe. Six of Cups. Six of Cups, clarifying the universe. For me, this is literally saying that something from the past, something you're connected to, something that you've gotten comfortable in doing over time, is the very block that keeps you from your next step moving forward. Is this a behavior in the way that you communicate with people? Is this a behavior in which you show up at your job? Is this an action that you continue to do? We need to get back to finding that clear space. King of Swords in reverse. He's detached, he's cold, he's manipulative, he's unwilling to move. He's a fixed sign. This is Aquarius right here. The kings are fixed signs. The King of Swords is Aquarius. The King of Wands is Leo. The King of Pentacles is Taurus. And the King of Cups is Scorpio. These men don't move. Taking an action when it comes to your thoughts and clearing them directly for you. Majority of my reads are personal reads for individuals, not the collective. Because if you're exactly where you need to be as an individual, you'll be a better version of yourself when it comes to how you serve the collective. If you're not in position, then how you expect anybody else to be in full knowledge of what they're supposed to do for themselves, for the collective? You can't. Spirit will leave you exactly in the place that you are now, which is uncomfortable. Stay in your self node and tell me how well that works out for you. Lessons are hard because they're what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even get the word out. They're personally tied to you. This cycle you know well. This cycle you keep going around the corner, detour lane, and coming right back to it. What area are you in that you refuse to move? A lot of these cycles in our lives, they show up time and time again in a form of a different meat suit. Saying the same thing, telling you the same thing, you name it. But if you refuse to move, guess what? You're not going to move forward like you think you are. I'm not saying good things are not going to happen to you. Yes, God has grace. But the potential you can step into will be far greater if you happen to let go of some old shit that you refuse to because you romanticize them. You think you're doing yourself some justice. You're only keeping your own destiny away from you. You're kicking it down the road. Last card, clarifying the Six of Swords in reverse. Judgment in the upright. You can't get mad at anybody else. Judgment is that alarm clock that goes off. It's that red flag. It's that soft voice that yells at you and tells you exactly what it is. It's your intuition going off. It's the truth. It's the truth. People can argue all day, go back and forth with each other, you name it. But one thing that a person cannot deny is the truth. They can keep their stance, they can say whatever they want to, and guess what? They will still have to go home, do the thinking, the evaluation, the sorting out of the mind to get down to this truth. Spirit works in a myriad of ways. And one thing that a person cannot say is that they didn't know when Spirit is getting you primed for a cycle to complete. Trust me, you know. You've gotten the signs. You've gotten that word. You've gotten that nudge. If you refuse to look at it, then you can't blame Spirit. Spirit has been telling you. Bottom of the deck. The Nine of Swords in reverse. Sometimes we have no choice. Spirit will bottleneck us into positions where we have no choice. Yes, we still have free will. We can choose to stay there or we can get the fuck up out, right? But ultimately, Spirit is trying to push us towards our destiny. And if he has to pigeonhole us in a corner in order to do so, then Spirit will do just that. However, you being stuck in your head is not going to get you there. Take these 9 swords over anxiety, depression, fear, nightmares, overthinking, overanalyzing, being too logistic, whatever the case may be. It is stopping you from moving forward. Nobody else but you. You've gotten all the signs. Judgment in the upright. When it comes to this major cycle that we're trying to close, get out your own way. It's funny. That was right underneath. Right underneath. 6 of Swords in the upright. If you want to mentally move forward, get out of your own way. I guess I close it with the Oracle card. One Oracle card, not 2 or 3, just one. Top of the deck. Snow. Silence. And that's 34, which breaks down to 7. This is divine timing. Silence. It's a lot of mental activity going on in these cards. It's some signifiers too. Clarifying the universe and the 6 of Swords in reverse. Judgment and 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups is Sun in Scorpio. Judgment is Pluto. This screams Scorpio season. Sometimes Spirit needs to scare the fuck out of us in order for us to move. Whether that is our own fear. Maybe our own fear is keeping us from going to the other side. Where's Scorpio in your chart? Spirit is highlighting this major cycle when it comes to our lives. We're in a season, Libra season. Libra season for me is the balancing of the cosmic scales. Silence. That's funny, because even in, that reminds me of Pluto. I'm seeing Pluto everywhere. But anywho, silence. Sometimes being too busy distracts you from what you need to be focused on. It's the illusion. Sometimes we need to get quiet to look at the underbelly of life, the underbelly of our own lives, in order to see what it is that we need to adjust, become unfixed. We can't get mad at the life that we are living when we continue to choose the same thing over and over and over and over again. Sometimes Spirit will come around and show you something different. And more times than not, people will choose to do their same behaviors and go back to the very thing that they're calling themselves running from. And inevitably preventing themselves from getting to the other side of this life cycle. You can't say that Spirit didn't show up. You can't say that you didn't know. Judgment. It's the refusal of hearing what Spirit has also gingerly has given you. What have we learned over the past 6 months? Pluto is now direct, going in its regular direction, full force. It's waking up some things. All these planets that we have in Libra season right now is going to go right into Scorpio. And the attention that we have on our interpersonal relationships and our groups or business-ships or whatever, that is going to be shifted for us to deal with the underbelly of ourselves. Get silent. Do your prayer. Do your affirmations. Do your meditation. Observe and pay attention to you and how you show up in your interpersonal relationships. Pay attention to your own thoughts. What's keeping you from moving forward? You can't blame everybody else. Chiron is an Aries. It's your own personal wound. What are you doing to continue to make your own personal wound fester? Are you tending to your wounds? Are you continuing to poke at them and say that everybody else is the problem, when Spirit is saying that we are? It's the way we think. Today is not a good day. Like I said, astrologically speaking, we got Moon in square to Mercury and Mars. The way that you are moving about your emotions and trying to explain and or express to another individual, or even how you move. Get quiet today, people. And look at your own shit. That is the message for today. I will see y'all tomorrow. Catch me on the rest of my platforms. Peace.